What is one supposed to give up to be in spiritual? If a person has to be in spiritual, then it is called the ultimate goal. It is the last goal of somebody's life. It is believed that if you want to be in spiritual, that means something from your life has literally come to an end, or you have got worried with all the problems and you just want to give up. These are certain ideas which people have. But to be in spiritual, it need not mean that you have to give up everything. Let us say that you have started in spiritual. Started, like I explained last week. When a person starts in spiritual, they naturally have a lot of questions coming up to them and they want answers. The questions are, what am I seeking? What is this manifest, unmanifest? In other words, what is this Buddha? Right? You mean to say a person became a Buddha. So what does that mean? What is moksha? What is enlightenment? What is self-realization? These are certain questions that come up, and then they decide that that is the goal. Some people go and join some religious institutions, or sometimes they go to churches, temples, or places of worship, and they believe that they have become spiritual. If a person visits a church, a temple, or a gurudwara or whatever, it doesn't mean that he is spiritual. Really doesn't mean that. It means that he is seeking something, but the in-depth knowledge of spiritual is what is not going to come to him. When I say him, it means her as well, okay? Not just a man, it can be a woman as well. So she may go to a temple and pray over there, doing all kinds of sadhanas also. Maybe do fasting, maybe read some scriptures, books. And there are lots of people who sell very small books, very tiny ones, in which the entire stories of, say, Sai Baba or something is written in that, and they say if you read this every day of your life, you will reach your end goal. Some people listen to it and then they do that. My mother did it for many years. Even on the last day of her life, she had kept that book open and she must have read it, because I don't know what actually happened. So you can assume that a person does that. But then are they spiritual? No, not at all. Spirituality is a subject which means you are seeking that divinity in you. Right? So who is this person, the individual, and who is this God inside that person is the question that they are seeking. So do you think that that is the way, by going to some church or temple or any other place, somebody is going to give them that knowledge? Though the scriptures which they are doing are saying some words, but nothing enters. So to become spiritual means to follow the track where you know what is this spirit. There is a spirit within every being, And what is this spirit? Some people call it spirit soul. So what is this spirit? So where does the question of giving up come? So yes, I want to understand this spirit within me. Somebody has arrived at this question. I want to understand and I want to learn about it. So there are a couple of methods which can be employed. One is to read scriptures, read storybooks related to all these matters, spiritual storybooks kind of. Or you can be with a guru who will be able to guide you. Just doing some rites and rituals cannot take a person to that place. Let me assure you this much. Whatever the Buddhist might have said, that Buddha never had a teacher, but his foundation was there in which he had learnt about this subject. So the idea that he didn't have a teacher doesn't exist. He had teachers, number of them. And he had gone to Benares also to learn. It's later on that he went under and sat under a tree and there he got enlightened. So you may say that, some people have teachers, gurus, which are visible and some are not. And some may acknowledge the gurus and some may not. But this path is very, very different from the material one. It talks of dispassion in the first place. When a person becomes dispassionate, that is a time when the person says, I give up. Now, how does this person give up? Now, giving up doesn't mean that you give up food, water, this, that, no. It means giving up desires. Whatever your desires are. See, desires are going to lead you to some place which is purely material. Alright? Let us say I have a desire to own a very fancy car. Or I have seen all the big people have their own jet planes. I want to own a jet plane. Now, I need money. Isn't that a desire which is now leading me towards getting that? So I have to earn my living. I have to get this plane or this car or whatever that I am dreaming of, which means I have to purely focus in the material world. So this desire is what keeps me locked in the material world. Today people have time so they can invest a little time in spiritual talk. This is going on over here, which is called a satsang. So you are investing time over here. But let us say if you are working for some company or you had a desire for something, you're going to work for it. You're going to be out there. You're not going to be bothered about sitting for some satsangs. It's not going to happen. Why? Because your time is going to get completely eaten up by these desires in the material world. To maintain a family, to maintain a husband or a wife or children or grandparents, parents, whoever they might be, you still need the money, you still need to earn, you still need to get into the world and work. And there are too many things which are going to keep you latched on over there. And you may say, oh, I work so hard during the week, so at weekend I am going to go to the club or I am going to go to the bar or something like that, and I will go out with my friends, maybe I'll take a tour. I will go on a small trip, I'll go on a trek. It's nothing but a desire, isn't it? So when you are investing in something like going on a trip or a tour, something like that, you have to spend your time over there. So where is the time for spiritual? So what does a person have to give up? If I analyze your life, anybody's life for that matter, and break it down into say 100% of your life, 35% of your time you are sleeping. 35% of your time you are sleeping. You are working for someone more than 45% of your time. You will ask me, where did this 45% come from? Well, you can translate it yourself. To get to work and come back is also the time taken. So if you are driving down for 1 hour in the morning and driving down 1 hour back and spending about 8, 10, 11 hours in the company or wherever you are working, you calculate the time. You are nearly at that level, isn't it? And your life itself is getting used up in that. So if you total all these things up, you will find that you have not even 1% of your time you are investing in learning about spiritual or religion or God or whatever. You don't have the time. People actually say that, I am going to take out 1 hour of my day. 1 hour of my day I am going to take out, and I am going to do meditation, or I am going to do yoga, or I am going to learn about spiritual, or I am going to hear some satsang. 1 hour. 1 hour in 24 hours. You decide what is the percentage of your life you are going to spend on that. And if you are starting at the age of 30, doing this, till the age of 30 everything is minused out. So what is left? So that 1 hour translates into not even 1% at the end of when you are dying. Whereas you are spending more than 50% of your life actually working for some person. So I told you, your desires are consuming most of your life. 45 plus 35% is how much? 80% of your life. 35 if you remember, your sleeping time. So 80% of your life is minused out over here. What are you doing? Where is the time for spiritual? The spiritual is not there. So now, start this exercise in your life. What do you have to give up? You don't have to give up. Give into this. Spend time in spiritual. You are thinking too much about money, too much about your work, too much about your family, your children. Your whole life is occupied by just thinking and doing and becoming a servant all your life. You are a servant everywhere. Whether you go to work, you are a servant over there, you are serving some master. You are at home, you are serving your wife or your husband or your children. You think you are some father or mother who is doing something for their children. Sorry, you are a great servant. You are a glorified servant for them. If you are working somewhere, you are a glorified servant for that person as well. But for your own self, what are you doing? So do you remember when I said spirituality is connected to the spirit within you? You don't even spend 1% of your lifetime in spiritual. And this is what you need to understand and say, this is it. I got to give myself that time. I want to know about me and about the God or whatever the ultimate thing that I got to know. And I am going to invest my time sincerely in this. I have many satsangs. Not that I am saying that you should join all the satsangs, but think about it. Just go and write a diary every day and see for yourself how many satsangs would anybody attend. You will find that hardly anyone. In the total week, if I'm consuming 7 hours or 8 hours, 8 hours in the entire week or 7 hours in the entire week, that is what you are giving to yourself for a satsang. And if you are doing meditation, what meditation are you doing? Most of the time you are sleeping. And most of the time you are dreaming that I am meditating. There is nothing happening there. So this BS that you are giving to yourself, you please stop it and be sincere. Invest your time on yourself. So, give up whatever that you wish to for that little time that you may spend over here. The amount of time that you may be sitting in your bed, daydreaming, like that. Or maybe putting a paste on your toothbrush and just standing in front of the mirror over there looking at your eyes or something like that. That is also wasting of time, isn't it? Some people have the habit of sitting on the toilet seat for half an hour. Well, if you invest that 15 minutes of that on trying to understand who you are, I think that's a great investment that you are doing. So you don't have to give up anything. I'm telling you this. They increase the time factor only in spiritual. Learn about yourself. Learn who you are. Learn what is it that makes you tick. And who is the spirit soul inside of you. That is spirituality. But invest that time. The amount of time you are a servant for other people, be a servant for your own self. Right?